Mark Carney was elected in April 2025 by the wave of anti American and anti Trump fervor. A fervor so strong, it gave the Liberals one of the largest political comebacks in history. Canadians do not like Trump. They're fearful about American influence. So they rightly did not want Poilievre, seeing him as too aligned with America. Look at Carney now. He's kissing the floor at Trump's feet. He has promised America to triple our military spending up to $150 billion. For reference, our total healthcare system, the federal transfers, were $52 billion in 2024. PM Carney has no plans to improve your life. He's openly saying that he plans on making it worse.
If we are moving to the higher and higher levels of defense spending because that's necessary, then we will have to make considerations about what less the federal government can do in certain cases and how we're going to pay for it.
Things he's already done, getting rid of the consumer carbon tax rebate, which the overwhelming majority of Canadians net benefited from, or another example where he gave massive American tech companies like Amazon and Facebook a $2 billion tax forgiveness on Trump's request.
It's very simple. Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved to President Trump in the United States of America. The Prime Minister called the President last night to let the President know that he would be dropping that tax, which is a big victory for our tech companies.
We have people sitting on hordes of wealth, and they won't be making sacrifices. They can pay for whatever they want, whenever they want. And millionaire Carney says you need to make sacrifices for the military-industrial complex. Give me a break. Because right now, he's cutting the public service, and he plans on giving it to the military. That's your money. To me, it just looks like Carney is a submissive little dog to Trump.
It's very simple. Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved to President Trump in the United States of America.
He's just hoping you don't notice. Basic public functions are being gutted, and more cuts are coming. He's talking about bolstering capabilities in the Middle East. It's grossly unpopular. He has already lowered taxes on the wealthy, and he refuses to raise them on the wealthiest Canadians because that's his taxes. He's banking on Canadians being mentally checked out of politics. He can enrich wealthy people like his former Brookfield millionaire friends. Meanwhile, militarizing explicitly because America demanded it. Also, you are paying for it. We have an affordability crisis. Young people have given up a lot. Most of us don't have retirement plans. Militarization is not the answer, and especially militarization in the Middle East should not and cannot be a priority.
Participating in NATO deterrence and defense missions across Central and Eastern Europe, as well as building capacity in the Middle East.
This is not left versus right politics. It's up versus down class politics, as it always has been. This is Carney's class warfare against working people like yourself and poor people who just cannot get by, and their life conditions aren't improving. I could think of a million areas we need to spend before massive militarization. You could too. The needs we have as a society are at home, not abroad or on military. So Trump told other NATO countries, hey, you're going to be spending 5%, which Mark Carney immediately said yes to doing. Carney's plan is to decimate social services.
The coming days and months will be challenging, and they will call for some sacrifices.
Carney will propagandize saying, oh, it's actually 3.5% military spending plus 1.5 in military adjacent infrastructure. But remember, when he says that, he also knows you're going to be paying for it. Carney's theory is that we'll spend so much on military and military industrialization, grow the economy, and help build the tax base. He plans on giving money to rich defense companies, American, Canadian, and abroad, and hopes the benefits will trickle down to the general population. This is just trickle down economics. It's failed and failed and failed. To me, Canada does not feel stable already. This is a plan for more destabilization. It's the opposite of a plan. What more do you need to see to be convinced? It's been some 50 odd years of neoliberal policies that have failed time and time again and will continue to deteriorate our material conditions, quality of life. So Mark Carney's cutting taxes on the wealthy and shifting federal funding away from things Canadians want, expanded universal health care, including therapy, mental health services, make post-secondary education free and accessible so we can get more doctors, more Canadian doctors. They shouldn't need to go into massive debt to become a doctor. Canadians want high-speed rail and walkable cities and third spaces, places we can go to live our lives. Carney is not trying to improve your life and saying you will need to sacrifice more in the future.
None of these goals will come easily or quickly. All will require ambition, collaboration, and yes, on occasion, sacrifice.
American fascism. History does not repeat, but it rhymes. Fascism won't look exactly as it did in the past, so we have to analyze and look at the facts. Now, I think that fervor of anti-American sentiment in Canada has already exposed American fascism, but let's go through it some more. America is a force of violent militarization. America has ignored international and humanitarian law. The most glaring evidence is with their actions in Palestine and Iran. The never-ending American violence, domestic and international. Domestically, America is rolling back civil rights for immigrants and refugees, particularly Latino Americans.
You don't have a warrant. Where is it? Where is it? No, you don't. No, you don't. Show me. Show me right now.
Where's the warrant at?
No. Show me the warrant right now. We're not gonna let her go. Yo, get your hands on my mom.
Mass deportations are an extremely violent endeavor, but everyone is vulnerable. Recently, a Canadian died in ICE custody. America's rolling back civil rights for women and their bodily autonomy, and queer people and their right to just exist. Masked thugs are going around kidnapping moms and dads, grandparents, friends, family, people of the community, without identifying themselves and ignoring due process. The prisoners are then moved around to for-profit detainment camps across America. The most unfortunate are deported to this prison, CCOT. It's a Salvadorian slave labor camp. They openly brag that the people in there will never leave. It's a concentration camp. 75% have zero criminal record. That number goes higher to 97% if you include non-violent crimes, like trespassing. In America, you or your neighbor could be next. Internationally, they're violent. Their military-industrial complex is strong and growing. It will always hunger for more until nothing is remaining. On the point of Israel, it's a client state of American empire. Israel cannot do anything without American support. Israeli fascism is American fascism. In June, America, the leader of NATO, our military alliance, declared a war aggression on behalf of Israel, who are not in NATO.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime,
bombing nuclear facilities after a surprise attack during negotiations. And legacy media is complicit in this too. You won't hear this on any TV. Do not rely on them. And on the point of the media, look how CBC rightly covers the damage at this nuclear power plant in Ukraine, talking about the danger and severity. And this kind of coverage is warranted when nuclear disaster is possible. And here is how they cover Iran.
At midnight Friday into Saturday morning, Operation Midnight Hammer would begin with a large strike force of B-2 bombers, leaving Whiteman Air Force Base just east of Kansas City, Missouri. This was the first attempt to fool anybody watching.
It's sick, it's gross. A war of aggression, bombing nuclear facilities after a surprise attack during nuclear negotiations. More offensive wars are coming. It could start up again, soon even.
You believe the conflict between Israel and Iran is over. What makes you so confident it is? And what do you do if it isn't?
Because I dealt with both. And can it start again? I guess someday it can. It could maybe start soon.
Here, Trump says USA is practically NATO.
They love their country. They were so respectful of me because I'm the head of the United States. Many of whom I knew from previous, when I saw the passion they had for the country, almost everyone, and you probably have the tapes, it was very public, but almost every one of them said, thank God for the United States. Without the United States, they couldn't really have NATO. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't. I left here saying that these people really love their countries, and we're here to help them protect their country.
And here, the leader of NATO called Trump daddy. That's right, a leader of our military alliance is calling Trump daddy.
And then daddy has to sometimes do strong language to do stuff.
Calling him daddy like some weird psycho fantasy.
He called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
We are military allies with fascists. In World War II, there were smaller countries that fought alongside Germany. They fought with them because they were in a military alliance. Canada is going down that path. That makes us fascist. It's not complicated. If you're at a table and the head of the table is fascist warmonger and everybody else knows it, we're all still sitting at the table taking his orders. We're fascist. Canada is fascist. If you're sitting at that table, nodding along, yes, daddy, so good. We're fascist. Everyone, it's time to wake up. This isn't some unique problem to America. This is Canadian fascism. But it's not too late to beat fascism. The best time to fight it is now. If you're looking for people who think similarly, look for reputable socialist organizations in your area and go and organize, hang out with them. I'm sure they'd be pretty cool.